So this is Mick Barr from the death metal band Monoliyth. We're just going to have a chat about the release of the new album, and yeah, we've Chris has been good enough to have us on, so yeah, can't wait to have a chat.
Fantastic, Mick. Thanks for joining us today, brother.
No problem at all.
So Monolith released the album He Who Kills back on August the 22nd, mate. So she's been about a month now. How's the early reception been?
It's been great, really good. I'm getting a lot of feedback overseas through Europe and the States, and all the feedback's been really positive. So it's sort of taken us by surprise the amount that we've got back. So yeah, it's been really good. I've got some good reviews and some good positive feedback from in Australia as well. So it's all looking pretty positive. So yeah, it's great.
Nice, mate. Nice. One of his reviewers actually did a review on the album, and he says that He Who Kills sees Monolith deliver the tightest, heaviest, and most punishing work to date. Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah. So yeah. We'd agree with that. I think we're pretty happy with how it's come out.
Yeah.
We've put in some some brutal old school sort of vibes. There's some melody, and the twin solo stuff and harmony. So we try to incorporate all those elements of death metal into the one package. So hopefully we've done it justice.
Yeah, very cool. So can you dive a bit deeper into the album for us from a musical perspective and tell us what you were going for?
From a musical perspective,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just sort of touching on those elements that I've mentioned, like staying within the realm of like the old school '90s era, big guitar tones and the harmony, the twin guitar solos, just trying to incorporate like those kind of elements with like groove, and we've kind of put a little bit of slam, I guess you could say, into the mix as well. So we'll be doing that a little bit more with the next album as well. It's a little bit more technical, but still staying in the old school realm of things.
Yeah, nice. You released a few singles. You released The Killing Floor, He Who Kills, and Excised Unborn. So just say if that's all someone's heard of the album, is that a good representation of the thing as a whole?
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons we picked those songs, because it kind of showcases a few different elements of the band, and sort of what we were going for. And if you only to come across one or two songs, hopefully we've conveyed what the band's about musically. So yeah, that's the main reason for those three songs.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
The album concept is intriguing too, mate. Like it's set around tales of murder through the eyes of a serial killer. So like I say, it's an interesting concept. Where did the idea come from?
Well, it wasn't anything like serious. It was just to do with like everything on YouTube, or old horror movies and stuff. It's always based on serial killers. And we thought, well, yeah, maybe we can do something looking through the eyes of the actual serial killers themselves and how they might perceive their surroundings, or their ideology on why they do what they do. So yeah, again, it wasn't anything really serious. It was just a concept, and we kind of tried to write the music around that as well. So hopefully it's all one cohesive package.
Like you said, it's nothing serious, but it might not have been when you start off. But something like this is very serious in its content matter and quite graphic as well. Like, did you have how much research did you have to do on it to be able to come up with the songs?
Well, again, not a lot of research really, Chris, because like you just turn on the TV or put it, jump on YouTube or something, mate. It's all there, and especially more so like, from a horror movie perspective, like, obviously the real world and what's going on with serial killers and and everything's way worse than what you can sort of put together in a movie, or even for that matter, a song. So it's although it is serious in terms of reality and what's going on, but sort of what we were looking for was more tongue in cheek, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There are parts where it's pretty graphic and pretty detailed, which you'd expect with this subject matter. But was it hard to write from that perspective? Like, it's not as if you had anything to draw from. I hope you had nothing to draw from when you're putting yourself in the eyes of a serial killer.
It's just like trying to just convey, like, I guess I mean, you watch enough documentaries on these people, and it's it's pretty evident sort of how you could you could write something about them, or how you would think that they would react to a certain situation or whatever. So yeah, I mean, again, it's just like more of a tongue-in-cheek thing for us. We're not trying to change anyone's perspective or change the world on on what we're writing. So
yeah, true. But you would have still had to put yourself in a certain mind space to write that sort of material. Like, and it's not the sort of thing you live every day. Like, was it hard to disassociate from that afterwards? Like, you've got all those thoughts of death and murder in your head. Like, it's not as if you just go and sit down with your missus and have a cup of coffee afterwards.
On the contrary, that's as easy as it was.
It's sad.
Like, it's like, it's like, again, like a horror movie or anything like that. It's like, you can sit down and watch a horror movie, and if that's the style of movies you're into, you could probably go and have a coffee and something to eat after it. It won't affect you. So it's the same with us. I mean, like our vocalist Andrew, we came up with the idea of that album concept, and he had, I put together a whole bunch of different titles and stuff, gave him some ideas, and then he sort of just went from there. And I took care of, like, the music. We just put it all together, and then it sort of all came out. Like, we work really well together. So
nice. And, which song or which tale on the album is your favorite? Like, who's your favorite serial killer on the album?
Well, I mean, like, they're all sort of based on, like, not one serial killer. It's it's to do just with the whole concept of how they might operate collectively. So am I a fan of serial killers? Absolutely not. It's just like, I've seen plenty of docos on these people. It's it's pretty. You can't. You couldn't make it up, could you? Really? Like, can't believe half the stuff they talk about.
No, it'd be really cool though. Like, say, from your perspective, writing music about it, because it's you would have to put yourself in a certain respect inside their shoes, to be able to describe what they're doing. So it's a sort of something that wouldn't have the opportunity to do.
I guess, like, Andrew's probably done that to some degree and tried to think, on a different scenario, how would they act, or how would they respond, or to get those lyrics down. So I guess, I'm not sure. Like, he sort of came up with, like, all the lyric content. I just sort of gave him the just the titles and the idea on sort of what we were looking at, and then he just put it all together. So
enough talking serial killers, because I'm starting to look over my shoulder. You started Monoliyth in Melbourne back in 1998, bro. So what was the musical climate like at the time that gave birth to the band, and where did you fit in initially?
Well, we started off as a thrash band, and we're just doing, like, local circuit stuff back then. So we were doing, I'd written a bunch of material back then that was more thrash based. So then we were incorporating some covers from like Creator and Megadeth, a couple of other. I think we did some Pantera stuff back then. So it was mid-90s. I was in another band called Cyanide. That's sort of where Monoliyth came from.
Okay.
So yeah, we were doing I'm not sure. There was a band back in the day called Bacterium. We used to do a few shows with those guys. And yeah, I wanted to sort of branch out and just do a little bit more in the death metal realm, and yeah, started to focus more on that because I was right into the '90s, late '80s, early '90s death metal scene.
Yeah. Was it easy to get a foothold in the Australian music or the metal industry those days? Because there was a lot of good bands around then. So was that a hindrance to getting help, or was it hold you back a bit?
Yeah,
There were so many good ones around.
yeah, it's like it's always a battle. It's like there's so many good bands in Australia. Melbourne's flooded with like you know you know bands just like that are just full of talent. Like it's amazing. So it's always a battle, especially you're trying to there's so many bands, everyone's doing you know um, doing their thing, trying to get into the scene. Um, so that's like, and so for that, like we've branched out a lot, and tried to sort of get into the overseas market as well.
Yeah.
Like we're over in Europe, like when we played over in Europe a couple of years ago, like um, the the reactions and responses from people over there was just amazing.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, it was really good. Like it was like, okay, so we actually are doing something right. So
Yeah, and give you a bit of
yeah,
reassurance, wouldn't it?
yeah, it was really good because it
Yeah,
was a
nice.
big thing going over there. Like we weren't sure, and as you know, like touring's it's a lot of money.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, it went really well. So couldn't be
Yeah, you
happier.
don't mind losing a little bit going out on the road if you get a fan base and people that appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, yeah, it was been really good. I mean, like I've still got guys, messaging me now. They want like even like the first album, they want copies of that signed and
Oh, wow, that's
merch
great.
and stuff, and like, and that album was done years ago, back in 2008. So to think that people over in Europe and stuff still like that and are interested in the band, it's great.
Yeah, nice. Now, speaking of live shows, bro, like Monolith have earned a reputation for being a fierce live outfit. So, what is it about your shows that makes them so memorable?
I think that we just get up there and just try and just play the songs to the best of our ability. Like um, we're not running any gimmicks or anything like that. There's no sort of sideshow stuff happening. It's just get up there and try and deliver the songs as best we can, um, and just let the music hopefully speak for itself. So
Yeah, cool.
there's no real secret recipe in it, mate. It's just we get up there and try and do our thing. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Now, on the subject of live shows, bro, have you got any coming up?
Yeah, we've got our album launch that's coming up next month on the 18th.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're supporting the new album with that, and then I've got a couple of other things on the back burner. In between, we've got another show, Fruit Fest, that's coming up in April 26th, and then there's some stuff that I've got to do in terms of new material and everything. So possibly hit the studio again mid 26.
Very nice. Where's the best place for people to go to find out more about the band or where you're playing or get a copy of the album?
So best place to be is just we're streaming on all the platforms. We've just got some vinyl that's landed in Melbourne. So we're just looking at a couple of places that we can stock that. That'll be available online on Bandcamp as well, directly through the band on Facebook. And yeah, we're just waiting for our label overseas to get us some CDs, some hard copies, and yeah, but yeah, it's all on streaming, and yeah, the vinyl will be available within the next few weeks.
Sounds good to me, Mick. All right, bro. Well, thanks for your time. The album "He Who Kills" is out now. It's a very cool little trip down the mind of serial killers. But no, well done, brother, and hopefully we see you up in Brisbane one day soon.